So digital transformation is a really big and common challenge for a design thinking project or design thinking workshop. And since the year 2020, with the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of organizations were forced to digitally transform. And the same goes for us as workshop leaders, facilitators, design thinking project leaders. How do we do that kind of thing remotely? How do we do it virtually? So I think that's a really good opportunity when you're working on the challenge of digital transformation with an organization or with people. You've got to do it in the workshop too, right? Some people may want to go with the status quo and the old way of doing things, even though the old way of doing design thinking workshops. The post-it notes on the wall, right? People in person together. But if we're talking digital transformation, how do we digitally transform how we do that too? And that's the key that I like to address in the workshops. Is first, let's do it remotely, let's do it virtually. Let's use some of these tools and techniques and show them that they can use in their own work too, to maybe digitally transform how they do their day-to-day work. So that could be a good design thinking challenge to work on if you've got a general audience of how do you digitally transform your work as a leader, or the projects that you do. And you're almost showing them a case in point with the workshop and how you're running that meeting of that workshop, showing them tools like we have here that I love, like the whiteboarding tools or real-time whiteboarding tools like Miro. We're also showing them maybe a Loom video. I use those a lot too, and that's what we're doing right now, Loom video. So showing them the things that we're using to digitally transform how we're doing it in the moment, and then they get to work on that challenge themselves too and transform how they're working perhaps. That's a good avenue that I like to go down. For other more detailed avenues related to the organization or other directions within the organization, there's a book I really like, and I know a lot of my clients and people I coach really like too, and that's called the Design Thinking Playbook. And this one really stands out because you see right there in the title, Mindful Digital Transformation is in the first line. So this is one that's going to kind of get at design thinking for the purpose of digital transformation. So if you want to go really deep, you could pick up this book, and then I just know I've got it on the Kindle, right? Another digitally transformed way of reading a book, and they've got a whole section on how to kickstart digital transformation with, different sections in the book and examples, and you can see all kinds of design thinking activities or workshops or models that you could do for that case. It looks like here they've even got a workshop they were laying out in a 2-day format. So this could be a good resource, the Design Thinking Playbook, as well as maybe a workshop that's designed around the participants and how they can digitally transform what they do. The challenge here with a lot of these workshops in the design thinking world is that there's a lot of feature creep in the design thinking world. The authors did another book called the Design Thinking Toolbox, and right away it's a little intimidating. Here are all the different design thinking activities and tools and techniques that somebody may do or use for a project. So that's a lot. So a workshop, you may not have that much time. You may only have hour and a half, 3 hours a day, 2 days. How do you get to the essence of it? Maybe guide them through more of an idea generating part of design thinking. Let them do the empathy work to find out the needs related to how they can help their customers or their users, maybe with a digital solution, and then zero in on that maybe how might we question or statement, and then turn that into the workshop where you might do some idea generating and even prototyping from there. So just some quick thoughts on the concept of digital transformation for design thinking workshops and what you might design and facilitate, but digitally transform yourself and show them.